take you to our sponsor, Pinpoint Technologies, your source for direct mail and telemarketing leads. Check them out at www.pinpoint-tech.com.
Hi, I'm Charles Smith, and we're in my vineyard here at Old Bones in Walla Walla, Washington. And we planted this little vineyard in spring 2002, and we produced our second vintage of wine from it in 2005, and subsequently our third in 2006. I was on a road trip with a friend of mine. He's a singer in a group called the Vintners, and I used to manage him back when I lived in Denmark. And we had been coming up through Nevada and Idaho, and just happened to drive through Walla Walla. And I stopped here, met some people, and I thought this was a really cool place. I returned maybe about 4 months later. Somebody encouraged me to come here to make wine, and next thing you know, that fall I made my first wine, and here I am. I didn't want my life to be based on the talents of other people, so I wanted to do my own thing and see what I could do. So hence I came out to Walla Walla and did my wine thing. And I wanted something that I could do my whole life and maybe pass it on or share it with family and friends. And it's something that you can do, kind of like music. You can make it in one spot and you can spread it all around the world. So it's a kind of cool thing. I mean, we're not really doing anything necessarily really special. I mean, grape, cultivation has been around forever. So we'll simply choose a really good site, grow it, and manage the canopy well, and just have an idea that we're going to shoot not for mediocre, but shoot to make the absolute best wine we can. So in a site like this, it's very possible. It's warm. Well, I mean, actually today it's hot. It's dry. The roots are going very deep to try to pick up as much moisture as it can to survive. So therefore, it's also pulling up more minerality and earthy elements into the fruit. And this is a cool site, even though it's hot today. We probably won't harvest this vineyard until the end of October. And where a lot of vineyards are already harvested, this will come in still at only around 13% alcohol, even though it'll be very low cropped and very physiologically ripe to make very intense, very dark, and very finesseful wine. So it's a really cool spot. And it's absolutely beautiful out here, I think, and hot. I guess hot will be the reoccurring theme. Kind of like Paris Hilton. What did she say? Oh, that's hot. Okay, well, whatever. We can probably edit that part.
This is the riverbed then?
Yeah, this is right riverbed.
I mean, if there's an advantage to the rocks, I mean, in the wintertime, does it help out?
Well, in the wintertime, it doesn't really help out at all because you have to bury some vines down below because we have some Arctic freezes. So what you'll want to do, there'll be a shoot that'll come off the bottom of the plant, and you want to bury it underneath about a foot of earth. And when it's just mainly rocks, it makes it pretty hard to do that. So that's to protect it just like a tulip bulb during the wintertime, so we can get down. When we had our freeze in 2004, it was minus 17 degrees Fahrenheit, and that basically freeze-dried all the buds on the cordon, and so we ended up with nothing. It was a 90% wipeout in Walla Walla in the 2004 vintage. But the wines that were made from Walla Walla grapes that actually survived the 2004 freeze turned out to be awesome. And fortunately, we were fortunate enough to make a few of those as well. So, and what's cool about this spot, I mean, obviously it's beautiful here, and this place was homesteaded in the 1860s, and the house was built in 1868, and the trees were planted around that time. But also, this has been agriculture land forever, and before it had been wheat, and it had been cattle, and now next door to me, organic farm has moved in. So instead of having wheat being next door, I mean, if you turn around and look at it, it's all organic produce. So here you got your wine, and there you have your food. That's pretty cool. This was riverbed. This is all dried riverbed through here, and you can see this beautiful, volcanic rocks. I mean, that's pretty cool. So they're just, you can feel the ambient temperature of the air here, but then you hold one of these rocks. These are really warm. They're absorbing the heat, and they'll radiate the heat all through the evening, even after the sun goes down, to help the plants develop and for the grapes to mature. Probably my greatest wine experience ever was I was in Bulgaria on the Black Sea, got a bottle of wine that cost about 20 cents, ice cold, sitting on this beach. You could see nothing but sand and water forever. It was before the season. There was nobody there except me. And I was sitting there with this ice cold bottle of wine and going, and now they're floating on my back in the Black Sea. And that's what I thought, I can't believe it. Here I am in Bulgaria in the Black Sea, and I came all this ways from where I began, and that was a pretty cool thought. That was probably the greatest wine experience I ever had, and it was a pretty crap 20-cent bottle of wine. This is the United States, and this is a free market, and you can buy what you want. And the people that are on my mailing list that buy my wines every year, they know that when they get the mailer, they better order it then. Especially the real small batch stuff, they don't order it in the first week, it's gone. But there's nothing reserved for anyone, because the thing is, just because you discover something, 5 years down the road doesn't mean that you should, in my opinion, you shouldn't have access to it. I think, if you want it, you can get it. If somebody came in here right when I released my wines and they wanted to buy, let's say I make 50 cases of them and they want to buy all 50 cases, write the check. This is what it's all about. I make wine, you want to buy it? I make wine for people to drink. It's really cool. I make something that people ingest. It's an honor. It's amazing. I can't believe it. When people come here and they say, oh, I love this wine. And it's like when you have friends over your house and you cook some food and your friends are sitting around, they're happy and they're laughing, and then somebody goes, oh, I really love this food. There's a certain amount of pride because you gave somebody something that was personal. And that's probably what I really like best about what I do. And whether it be about communication or about the wine that I make, whatever way I give them access to what I'm doing is probably where I get off the most on.